Yo, what's going on, guys? Gonna be showing you how to play Evelynn jungle like a pro in 12 minutes. For your runes, you're gonna want Predator or 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀 with Sudden Impact, Eyeball, and Ultimate Hunter or Relentless Hunter. If you're not taking Predator, then you really want to have Relentless Hunter. If you are taking Predator, you can get away with Ultimate Hunter. Either way, you need at least one aspect of speed in your runes, otherwise it's going to be very difficult to land your charms on enemy champions. It doesn't really matter if you start on red side or blue side, it's about the same speed. Either way, if you do get a leash, you want to try to get your clear down to 312 to 318. Just make sure you're moving from camp to camp as you're doing them. Don't just stand infinitely still. You should be able to kite the monsters over a bit. Especially the lower they get, you can kind of wrap them around to the next camp. Your E is a speed up bonus, and your Q allows you to attack without standing still, besides the very first Q, which are two big ways Evelynn kites from camp to camp much more efficiently than other melee junglers. This game I opted for red smite because I really hate playing against Sylas and Echo. Whenever you have blue smite on Evelynn against super high burst champions, it's very easy to get bursted out by them. If you do plan on going for 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀, I would highly recommend taking blue smite though instead of red smite, because you're going to need that extra mobility instead of tankiness. Ideally, you want to get as close as possible to make it easier to land the charm. He flashed away, so I had to flash. I do hold on to my E to secure the kill and to also use it as an auto attack resetter. So whenever I do go to use my E, I'm taking full advantage of its dash. I auto attack and then E to maximize my damage and staying on top of him. Your empowered E is a dash, and it also tethers, so if they flash or blink. Your non-empowered E is just a damage and a speed up. Look on the picture for your E. If it's glowing pink, it's empowered. If it's not, it's non-empowered. I run up behind him, I get my charm on him, I throw out a max range Q, not ideal. Here, when I auto attack him, I wasn't in range to hit him with an E immediately. In situations like these where they have boots and you don't, it's very easy for them to kind of outrun your E after you auto attack. In those situations, just hit him with the E to stay on top. It's better to get off an auto attack and then an E than it is to auto twice and then them being out of range of your E altogether. Since I died, Echo's looking to come into my jungle. I can see him on the mini map, so I'm posting up off to the side, get a ward down and follow him along the wall to where he doesn't really have time to react. I hit him with a Q, 2 autos into an E reset, and then I flick on my Predator. He's not able to outrun me even though he has flash and I don't, and we end up securing the kill. In your first back on Evelynn, always try to get boots and a dark seal, especially if you have Predator. You really want boots and dark seal, super strong to get your dark seal stacks flowing, and obviously you need boots to be able to use your Predator. This is why I'm not a huge fan of 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀 or Dark Harvest on Evelynn, because it makes it harder for you to get your Dark Harvest stacks since you're not as fast to run them down to land your charms. Once again, we come up from behind with a charm, we get as close as we can, we land the charm, and then we use our E to stay on top of him, and also as a auto attack resetter. Echo's coming in, I try to get my level 6. Now that I have my R, I'm trying to get him to miss his Q. He does a really good job of holding onto his Q until he runs into me. I use my R but don't quite hit him. Luckily, 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀 picks him off before he can kill me, which allows me to save my Dark Seal stacks. It's very important that once you have your Dark Seal, you never die for the rest of the game, because you'll be losing not only your shutdown gold, but also a bunch of Dark Seal or Mesh stacks. Once you do have your boots and you can access your Predator, you're normally going to use Predator and then W, and then by the time you react to your W, your Predator's already kicked in. You get down your Q, your E, and it's a free kill. Even if they dash away or speed up, you're moving so much faster than anything in the game. Even if they have tier 2 boots, you're faster, which is why I love this build. It's so much easier to make these ganks work. I see Echoes on the bot side of the map, so I move immediately into Herald. Plus, we just killed Sylas, so the odds of anyone coming over here to stop me are very slim. On Evelynn, it's not enough to just get kills. You really need to try to get Heralds as much as you can. It's more important on her to really get Heralds than it is Dragons. I see Echo's bot side, and all he had was red buff, so I figured his blue buff and Gromp would be up. I think at this point he's pretty tilted. I think he bought Mobies, and he's just trying to perma-gank. He's mad that Teemo's been dying so much, and he just starts semi-griefing from here. I wait for him to come to his blue buff since he just died, but he doesn't. He just goes back bot lane for another gank. It looks like my bot lane is going to pick him up, so I'm pathing towards a dragon. Like I said, getting kills on Evelynn isn't enough to win the game. You can have 500 kills, but trust me, your teammates aren't going to be doing anything. They're not going to be getting objectives or trying to end the game. At the end of the day, you are the jungler, and you need to try to get as many objectives as possible, as safely as possible. Because once again, if you die even one time on Evelynn, once you have Dark Seal stacks or shutdown gold, it's pretty much game over. Also, the more you play for kills on Evelynn throughout the duration of the game, the enemies will start turtling up and hiding near turrets and just clustering to where you can't really get kills anymore. I was pinging for 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀 to shove the wave so we could kill him under turret. She got impatient and just went in for the dive, put me in a bad spot where I had to wait for charm to proc, I had to blow my flash, and use my R just so we could get that kill. In situations like these, you want your minions to be able to tank turret shots as you walk in for the kill. That way you don't have to blow absolutely everything. And 𝗕𝐂𝐈𝐀𝐋𝐒 died, but at the very least I didn't lose my shutdown gold or my dark seal stacks. After your first back of boots and dark seal, you're going to want to try to get your tier 2 boots ASAP and get your rocket belt. Rocket belt simply gives more stats than Night Harvester. If you don't know how to use activatable item, just go for Night Harvester over rocket belt and you'll get much better results, because at the end of the day on rocket belt you have to remember to use it and land it to get more value out of it. Even if you are going for the same predator setup I have, you can still go for blue smite. Like I said, I only went for the red smite since they had super heavy burst on their team and I wanted to try to survive as much as possible. I'm checking for Echo since I saw his red buff was coming up. If you see it yellow on the mini map, that means it's 10 seconds. If you see a camp is gray on the mini map, that means it's a minute or less. So I path away, I use my E to speed up, I smite it. I'm just trying to get out because I see his bot lane's collapsing. After being invisible for a bit, he's clearly not respecting me. I'm going to toss out a Q and a rocket belt. Rocket belt's going to push us into him and give us a lot of bonus movement speed even after we use it to finish him off. I didn't actually need my R there, I just didn't realize how much damage he was going to take from me. It's okay to sit on a lot of gold on Evelynn, especially once you have your Majias, because if you know you can solo someone or you have the damage to get the kill, like, what's the point of backing? You might as well stay on the map, absorb camps, and take objectives. That's why you'll see me a lot of times on Evelynn when I have a bunch of dark seal stacks or Mej. Even if I'm sitting on a lot of gold, I'll delay my back. We rocket belt, go for the QE, and get the kill. If you do have the choice of choosing how you're going to land your charm, ideally you want to land it with an E. That way you don't miss your Q. But on Predator, you are moving so fast that it doesn't matter as much because you'll be able to land subsequent Qs anyways, even if they dodge the first one, which is another nice aspect of Predator. If you're a noob on Evelynn and have trouble landing charms, it's kind of impossible not to land it. When you have a long time to kill someone, it's okay to open up with a QE instead and then go in for the charm like I did there against the 𝗕𝗂𝐻𝐿. You can also use your W just as a slow, which we'll be doing later in this game. If you have a limited time to kill someone before they get to a turret or to their teammates, using your W just as a slow is perfectly fine. Here, I was going to run down Lucian and kill him, but Echo shows up out of nowhere, so we flash the wall, we're going to run away, and Predator gives you some lingering movement speed to where even though it's only supposed to give movement speed when you move towards enemy champions, if you were moving towards them and then you're not moving towards them anymore, you still get a little bit of lingering movement speed, which helps you get away. Echo's trying to run away, he really has nowhere to go. We rocket belt QE and he is a goner. Another big benefit of rocket belt over Night Harvester. Rocket belt, you get the movement speed and the dash. Night Harvester, you actually have to hit them to get that, so it would have been very difficult for me to catch up with Night Harvester there. My teammates are a little bit out of position here. Even if I kill 2 of them and I die, it won't be worth it. I wait till they spread out a bit, going for the 𝗕𝗂𝐻𝑃. I should have R'd. I really didn't think I needed to. He lived with like 10 health. I just overestimated my damage a little bit. We are over the wall to get out, and yeah, there's just really no reason to die for any of this on Evelynn. Once again, even if you get 3 or 4 kills, if you then die, most likely you're going to have a bunch of shutdown gold and Mej stacks or dark seal stacks. So even if you get 4 people and you die, unless you end the game immediately off of that, it literally wasn't worth it. That's just how it is on Evelynn. Just get in the mindset of you can't die once you have some dark seal stacks. If you do, it's essentially game over. She's more about surviving and map pressure than she is about infinitely getting kills. You can easily win games on Evelynn with low kills and just taking every objective, but having enough Mej stacks to get the 10% movement speed bonus, which is 10 Mej stacks. Most games on Evelynn, you don't even want the game to go to Dragon Soul. This game, I just went ahead and took every dragon just because there was so little for me to do on the map. If there's nothing for me to do, I'm not just going to stand in one spot hoping someone comes by. I'll take the dragon. But when you do have to choose, definitely go for heralds in the early game. They will get you a lot more value than the dragons. If you don't know how to use heralds, then fine, play for the dragons and maybe the game will last long enough for you to get a soul. This game, I think we get the soul around the 27-minute mark, something like that. So this fight is getting long and drawn out, which is actually fine for Evelynn. These fights aren't bad for her because you'll heal off your passive whenever you go invisible, or after it's about 4 seconds after being outside of combat. It'll kick in and you'll get a bunch of healing. A lot of people don't realize that and they're willing to do these long drawn out fights. We go in, we're going to play some max range Qs and chop them up. You don't actually have to go into melee and use your E. You can keep them at a distance at arm's length. Got our Charm onto Lucian, haven't procced it yet. Hit him with a side Q, pull him towards my Kai'Sa. Herald goes in and knocks Lucian towards us. I was a little surprised we couldn't kill him there. I guess it was the Braum exhaust was just too much. Kai'Sa goes in and then we save her by finishing the turret. If you kill the turret, even if it has a shot in midair, it won't actually do any damage. So that was kind of cool that we got to save her there. We pull off and then this is where we use our Charm just as a slow. You can even throw out your Q in midair and before it lands, get down your W in time to slow. So that was just a 𝗕𝗂𝘂𝗶𝗹. He blows up, we get out safely. I see Echo's rage split pushing. You'll see a lot of players do this when they're hardcore losing. They don't want to AFK and get punished, so they'll just do something where they're going to continuously die like this. We use our Predator, we drop down the W. I don't want to go too deep on him because he has his R, so I don't want to go too close. That's why I didn't kind of continue the chasing there. I'm trying to stagger myself a little bit. But we do pick him off, which is fine. Killing him is going to help us set up Baron or flush out his teammates. Because at the end of the day, if we just let him sit on the split push, eventually they will win. If you and your team are ahead collectively, it's okay to just straight up raw 5v5 team fight. If it is a close game, or if you guys are behind, you generally need to stay away from 5v5s and look more for picks. Or you need to have someone on your team split pushing, so when the enemy team sends someone to match it, you can 2 versus 1 them. The only reason why you see me showing up to like every team fight is just the fact that we are ahead as a team and it's fine for me to do that. You may say, well, why not look for a pick even though you and your teammates are ahead? It's risky. If you're blind face checking bushes, you're out on your own. If they collapse on you in a certain way and you get unlucky, you can die. So if you don't need to take that unnecessary risk of doing a flank or getting a pick, then don't do it. Just team fight with your team. That's perfectly fine. You see a lot of Evelynn players lose a lot of really easy games because her and her team's ahead, but she goes for some wild pick that she didn't need to go for and they end up losing. And that's why we won this game. Even though I had 1 death, we just focused on objectives. We took really easy, straightforward stuff, and we pinched off the win. If you guys enjoyed this Evelynn jungle guide, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Kingstix. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.